Hi everyone, my name is Pawan and I welcome you all towards our YouTube channel where we are providing free, as of now, free UPSC training for all those students, all those UPSC aspirants, who would like to prepare for the civil service exam. And today we'll be majorly focusing on the subject of ecology and environment. This is going to be the part one video of ecology and environment, and everything I'm just going to explain it over here. Today is just going to be an introduction video, okay? Introduction to ecology and environment, and it's going to be a part one video, and let's see how it's going to be in terms of your learning experience. And please do take down all the notes which I'm giving it to you, and it's going to be very easy, super important, and very understanding for all of you guys. So now I just present my screen. I'll show you my notes. It's going to be very simple. Okay, today is just like intro video on all that we're going to study for the upcoming days. So just want to that would be your major insights as a whole, and it's going to be super interesting. Let's start. Hope you all can see the screen. Yeah, just want to reiterate. Yes. To avoid infringement, don't share your entire screen. Okay. Okay. Now you guys can see about ecology and environment. Let me start with this. Okay. Ecology and environment, when I just try to, when I'm going to explain it to you, it's very important for you to note that if you're preparing for civil service exam, ecology and environment plays a very important and crucial role. And if you're preparing the subject very well, even for your RBI, assistant manager grade B also, similar kind of exam when you give, it's going to be some similar kind of concepts. So it's going to be helpful with there also. Even for SEBI assistant manager grade A exam also, if you're applying, same components, all that you're going to cover up over, it's going to help over there. Even forest department, any of the exams you're writing, same components will be covered over there. Okay, so this is one important thing which I want to highlight for today. And if you're preparing from civil service aspect, civil service exam ka preparation, ka overall prep, then you just need to know for the fact that questions are going to be very simple and it's going to be very straightforward. But also, if you're able to read the current affairs very well, then you are basically at the proper track. I hope you guys can see me, but yeah, you are at the basic proper track. And along with that, few couple of tips which I would like to highlight, as today is an introduction class, is about understand your prelims and mains ka syllabus very properly. Okay, that's very much important. Understand your prelims and mains ka syllabus. Second one, try to understand the types of questions. Okay, types of questions which they generally try to ask. For example, anything of ecology and environment you're trying to learn, try to even relate it. For example, if you're learning about climate change, you can even connect it towards the economy aspect. And there are many concepts over here which will also be connected towards history. So just kindly look over that also. That also will be very helpful for you guys. Third point is about, which I used to highlight, is about prepare question papers, very important. Whenever you're going to study for ecology and environment, parallelly learn about previous year question papers. That's super important. Super important and super crucial also. And fourth point is about minimum materials, maximum revision. Okay, so don't buy so much material which is there in the market. Take up minimum materials and do maximum kind of revision. Okay. Fifth point is about priority of questions. Like for example, any kind of repeated questions which you see in the question paper, I'll try to cover it out in my notes itself. But I just want to highlight that fifth point is about any kind of repeated questions are there. Please do focus even on that. Sixth point is about complete before prelims exam. So before your prelims exam, you have to make sure that you are completing ecology and environment. Very crucial. Do not keep it at the last moment. You will be at the wrong track. So make sure that you are able to, finish everything before your prelims exam. Seventh point, as you complete the studies, previous year question papers plays a very important role, which means that each concept, each chapter when you're completing it, parallelly also refer to the previous year questions. It will be very helpful for you. Now, eighth point is about model papers. Preparation is very important. So model papers, how much ever possible, if you're able to prepare it, that would be good enough. Now, as I said to you, we just want to highlight once again previous year question papers when you're trying to give importance and reference, make sure that each time when you're completing previous year questions, you are immediately completing with your question papers. That's very important. Like for example, learning any concept. Like for example, today we learn about chapter 1. Immediately just go parallelly, look into the question papers, what are the related topics, and see whether are you able to solve it. Okay, it's very simple, nothing much complicated. Now let me show it to you analysis. Okay, so we are just seeing in each year what was the maximum amount of question they started asking. In 2014, it was like 18 questions they asked for prelims. 2016, again 18 questions they asked. 2020, 10 questions they asked. 2022, 16 questions they asked. Okay. And if you observe the range for the mains exam, if you observe how the marking criteria and all went, was like in 2013 for mains, 30 questions they asked. It's a very average, very important thing. And if you remember, for prelims, you can expect up to 14 to 16 questions from just about ecology and environment. So don't take it lightly. Give it importance, what I'm trying to tell. Now, for mains exam, 2013, 30 questions came. 2014 to 17, 25 questions came. And along with the 2018, 45 questions came. 2020, 22, 30 questions came. So you can expect for the mains, almost like 25 to 40 questions you can expect from what you can expect from what ecology as well as environment. Now, let me tell you few important concepts which will be completing over the period of time. The first one is about in your prelims exam perspective, it's very important for you to learn about general issues on environmental ecology. Very important. So, Joby, general issues are there in the environment. You need to literally learn about it. And along with that, about biodiversity of climate change, you need to give equal importance. Even for mains exam perspective, three important normal kind of questions which they generally used to ask is about conservation of flora and fauna. It's a very important, vast, but it's very minor. Don't worry, I'm not making it very complicated. It's going to be easy for you. Second point, environmental pollution and degradation. You can expect questions. A lot of questions have been coming from there. Air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, noise pollution. Everything is basically coming over. And third thing is about EIA, environment impact assessment. Like, for example, any scheme which is basically coming to an effect, what is its impact? Or, for example, what are the impacts of certain kind of aspects like global warming, climate change? Everything will be covering up. So don't worry. My notes is going to be like a guide, this one, a reference for you. Just take a screenshot of the notes, or if you're able to write it down in a book, that would be good enough. Okay, rather than just seeing how I present, if you're able to write it down, that would be great. Now, chapters which all will be covering is about, first one is about an intro to ecology and environment. So an introduction to ecology and environment that will be covering up. We'll be learning about, for example, like the survival rate of different aquatic animals, so different animals. For example, in a chapter one, we'll be discussing about Arctic region animals. We'll be reaching about learning about desert animals. So everything will be covering up. And second chapter, we're going to learn about ecological principles. So there are certain terms, like for example, in law, if you ask, there are different kind of terms which normal people cannot understand. Similar way, Joby, terms in ecology and all is used. Now we'll be completing even that also in depth. Terms in succession. Now, third point, biological diversity. In third, very important aspect, it's about we're going to learn about plant varieties in different regions, its survival. So all this biological safe diversity aspect we'll be learning. Fourth point, ecosystem and its function. Very important, yeah. That's about functioning unit of environment, components, abiotic and non-biotic components. So everything about such particular components, we'll be completing it. Fourth chapter. Fifth chapter, we are going to complete about types of ecosystem. Like we'll be learning about survival in the land, water, everything in much more brief. Okay. Now in sixth chapter, we'll be learning about environmental pollution and degradation. Like, we'll be learning about same, as I said, air, water, soil, all kind of pollution and degradation. Like I said to you, in sixth chapter, we'll be going very deep. And in the seventh chapter, if you observe, I've just highlighted over there for mains perspective, a lot of questions have been asked. That's about environmental impact assessment. Just put a star mark, write it down in your book. Eighth, the topic is about climate change and its impact. So here we'll be learning about global warming, what is wildlife crime control bureau of in terms of wildlife, international conventions, everything we'll be learning. So ninth and 10th chapter is very important, like, important organization, what are the institutions of environment. We'll try to go a little more depth. And 11th chapter, we'll be learning about SDG and sustainable development. Along with that, on 12th chapter, we'll be learning about different kind of case studies. It's a very crucial thing, so just give an equal importance for it. Now, also, guys, if you ask me which all other additional sources, if you want, you can refer NCRT books from 8th to 10th. That would be important. And for 11th and 12th, don't learn everything, but if you're able to learn this biotechnology or environmental pollution, that also would be fine. And regularly, if you're able to read current affairs, Indian Express, Hindu, that would be more than enough. And additional courses, like NIOS, IGNOU, if you want, there are specific courses like NIOS and IGNOU. IGNOU is basically about, NIOS, like normally even for the teaching is good in terms of course also, many thing about environmental and ecology is there. So if you want, you can even watch that particular course. So these are additional sources. But apart from that, in my notes itself, I'll try to cover up everything. So guys, let me stop presenting. Okay. So that's enough for today. I would like to wish you all the best. We'll be starting one by one and let's see how our learning process goes. Okay. Wish you all the best. Good luck. Take care. Goodbye. And do let me know how you liked the first video. In part one of the video, like part one is done. Part two of the video, we will start to go more depth about it. So just about intro to everything. Okay. Take care. Goodbye. Wish you all the best.